Hello. I try to ease in because I always start off with my Dr. Claw shot where I'm sitting here and you can't see my face. I hope everybody's doing well. Hello. I thought we were live skating. You know what? There's concrete under here. I can move this. I can move my carpets in 10 seconds and start going in circles. Since that is my Twitter name, I think it's sewing in circles. Well, it's one of them. Hello. It's Monday night. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to my so-called life. My name is William, and I hope you're doing well. It's been a crazy Monday here in the House of Sewing, but I'm always running around. Yay! I cover everything. If it travels with me, I cover everything. You'll knock over a shelf, and then that whole shed will come down like a house of cards. Oh, we're flying by our seat of our pants here in the House of Sewing. I have quite a few things I'm going to be doing this evening. Quite a few things I'm going to be reviewing, going through. Yay! Hello. Yeah, and if you didn't have anything in there, you could skate. I was thinking about it. If I pulled my carpets back, I could skate. It's weird. Space is weird like that. My son's MMA class is in what's the size of a normal business, but they have mats in there and they're like running around the mats. And I'm like, my garage is bigger than, well, it's longer, but how's it going, Pam? Great to see you. I have my patterns cut out. I was going to bring my table and everything out, but I've been running around like a crazy person because, it's soccer dad week day every day. Yeah, and the schedule sometimes it gets out early, sometimes the coach waffles. Awesome. So because it's early, this program is for entertainment purposes only, and its content is not intended to malign any religion, lack thereof, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by my so-called life and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every single human being on planet Earth. I hope everybody has a great evening. Hey, Rashawn, how's it going? How's it going? Great to see you. Had a great time on the stream today. Had a great time. That there was a few songs. I'm biased. I'm starting to discover that I am biased towards a certain generation. I did some window shopping at Home Depot today. Gotta say, I want to replace all of my shelves with those industrial racks they sell. We have them at my job. Those things last forever. Those hardcore racks, if it requires screws, it'll last forever. How's it going? Awesome. I have to get back to my notes to see. That's the other day. I can tell if it's talking about me watching Elf. That's the other day. What's really funny? I tried it was fun, but I don't have a history with skating rings, so I finally wasn't heartbroken. Man, skating rings were popular all the way. We had one in my town, and the funny thing is, it's still there, but they turned it into a laser tag place because people really don't do skating rinks anymore. But this skating rink was popular in my town for over 30 years, and now it's a laser tag place. I can count on one hand the number of times I've been to a skating rink. That trips me out because I live in real life suburbia and they had one when I was a kid. We had one and they played all the old school skate songs. It was everything that you would think it was. Maybe that's why I love the classics so much, because somebody up in the DJ booth was preserving those 30 years ago. Oh, all right. So I'm going to bust my table out. Now I've been to a bowling alley so many times I couldn't count. You know what? When I was in my 20s, I joined a bowling league, and that was one of the greatest decisions I ever made. Oh, man, I miss being in a bowling league. It was pre-internet, you know. If anyone wants to join, just let me know. But it was pre-internet, so when I was in a bowling league, oh, as I chuck my table on the ground. Oh, Monday is gonna be Monday. Man, you're so old that you're buckling. Poor table. That table is my age. Hey, butterfly. We had ice rings, but that's it here. Do you know what's funny? I've been to Canada and I was not disappointed at the amount of ice rings. But again, I like pointing out how similar we are because we constantly talk about our differences. But where I live, I grew up with more access to ice than a roller ring, and the roller ring was closer to my house. So it's funny that way. How's it going, butterfly? Great to see you. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're feeling well. And if not, I'm here to do my slapstick comedy and drop my table on the floor. I'm here for you. Yay. Hello, hello. I cut out my shapes earlier because everybody gave me such a hard time for my Walmart oopsies habit. Okay. I buy a lot of oopsies at Walmart. So I cut out a particular pattern that I really like. So now I'm gonna take my patterns off and start sewing it. It's gonna take me a second to set up. I just got home. But let's see what else before I start getting straight to sewing. Oh, so I don't know if you can see it. I tried to toughen up the frock, smock, whatever you want to call it. I also made a video about it. Everybody should go check it out. But let me switch my angle real quick. I gave, whoops. I don't know if you can see the patch from here, but I'm going to add a bunch of patches on the frock smock. And my mannequin is modeling it with a Young Money Cash Billionaires. What is it? Young Money Cash Money Billionaires hat. So it's styling. Yay! I hope you're feeling better, butterfly. Oh, at Home Depot, they also had a shelf with a sign that said "Oops, pain." I think you started something. I think I did. You know what? If I started the oopsie aisle, I won't even like, they don't have to pay me or anything. The fact that we all know that I started the oopsie aisle is enough for me. That's awesome. We have to show that again. They have an oops aisle where Kilroy lives. Oopsies are everywhere. Oopsies are amazing in fabric. Are you kidding me? I love the oopsie aisle, especially when they're like, oh, this is 3 yards, but it's really a yard and a half, or, you know, I go crazy in the oopsie aisle. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I tried to toughen up the smock, and it really isn't happening. I think it's awesome because it's a point of debate. We're laughing and we're talking about it, and that's what I'm here for. So the smock frock is staying here in the house of sewing. And I'm going to add a ton of patches on that thing. And it'll, you know what? It'll still make me look like a beer maiden. What is it? It'll look like I'm working at a beer garden. Oh, wow. So lately at my let me switch my angle and start sewing, I guess. Lately at my son's school, it's been a while since we've been out of the house. It's been a while since my son's been at school. We're getting used to it, you know. I drop my son off. I go do my thing. And I'm not kidding you. Some of the soccer moms and dads show up to this school a half an hour, 45 minutes for parking, which I think is crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy that people pull up that early. They might as well just park and stay there the entire time. And it's been real drama with parking and everything. So today I showed up real early and I pulled up with my 25-foot long truck and I blocked the entire driveway. I wasn't even trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to teach anyone a lesson, but well, I kind of was trying to teach them a lesson, but but I completely blocked the curb. And they were driving by me. They were driving by me and they were giving me this look. And I was looking at them eye to eye. But they were so mad. But you know, I was down to play a passive aggressive game with a bunch of soccer parents. But the parking is crazy. And it's been so long since my son and I have been, out and about as far as school and stuff like that, that I forgot how crazy school parking lots get. And they're more lit in the elementary schools because here at our high schools, there's cops there, so people are regulated. But I forgot how crazy the parking is. So now I made 4 enemies today with my 25-foot long truck. Because it's the same 4 people every day. And I have a tiny car. I pull way up so all 4 cars can fit, but people just do not like to play nice. School parking lots are crazier than Baghdad nowadays. And I wasn't even trying to be passive aggressive. I wasn't trying to be mean, but I was trying to show them, like, I'm here too. And because the truck's 25 foot long, I parked it at an awkward angle and it blocked the entire curb, which is like 40 feet. It's a smaller parking lot in the beginning of the school where people pull in. And because my son is kind of an earlier out, I park there. We'll be here, Butterfly. We will definitely be here. So tonight I don't know if I'm gonna make a hoodie or not. We'll see if I do, but because I'm back on my colored tie-dye, weird, I don't know. I bought this from Walmart. I bought this in the oopsie aisle, and this material is all over the place. And after the wannabe Cosby sweater that I made the other day with the carpet, I'm kind of leaning in that direction again, and I'm going to show you in a second this pattern. I put a lot of pins in here apparently, but this pattern is all over the place. And I got this in the oopsie aisle at my local Walmart, and it's awesome. I don't know if the color translate. I'll switch my angle in a second. But it's extremely soft. And there's similar similar to the Roadhog. I'll definitely be here, Ollie. My whole point is I'm really falling in love with soft material because it feels good on the skin, He's the sewing hog. If I saw that at Walmart, I'd get it. You know what's funny, Pam? It might be there because a lot of the oopsies, at least in my local area, because I try to buy more than one because it'll be like 2 or 3 yards. But I work at like 4 yards at a time because I'm crazy. And so I try to buy, the exact same because usually it'll have 2 or 3. I'll buy all of them when they're together like that. But they have them at different Walmarts, so you never know. But I'm really starting to fall in love with the oopsie. But after I was shamed on Saturday, it's reminded me to start sewing with the stuff I have. And you know what's really funny? I probably won't participate in So Frugal this year. I said that I was going to. I don't know. I waffle back and forth. We'll see if I do. But I have a ton of fabric ready for that if I do. So it's all positive. All right. This I have to pay attention real quick to see what side the inside and the outside. Perfect. Those are the arms. Beautiful. I'm starting to get like I'm starting to become dead to rights on this pattern because my cuts are becoming spot on. I just have to make sure. I guess it's this is a weird like dusty kind of tie dye. So I'm just making sure that the both design on same on that it has the same design on both sides, and it does. Perfect. Perfect. If I see that fabric at Walmart with the rolls that I usually grab them. Walmart's been really consistent lately. And I think it's because I live, like I always talk about, I live really close to one that I'm constantly going to it. You know what? It's the convenience. It's the utter and complete convenience. So I've been buying a lot of the oopsies lately. And at my local Walmart, they're never at the counter when I need them. And lately, I really haven't even been asking because I'm normally in a rush or I have a time limit. If it's on a Saturday, man, I can hang out. But any other day, I really don't have time like that. And at my Walmart, everything needs an attendant now. So anything that you do, you have to hit a button for someone to help you. Almost everything that isn't food. So everything has a tag on it or is behind security glass. And it's been a long time since I've gone to my local CVS, and the CVS was the exact same way. But it's been a long time because I haven't been that ill in a while. All right. Oh, this is going to look great. So I'm just lining everything up. I'm just making sure that because the serger is going to clean up any edge or anything. I'm just making sure this is lined up enough. Then I'll get my arms going. I'm actually this is a pretty funky pattern. That's definitely something you wear to the roller rink on a Saturday night. It's been bugging me all day. There's a movie, it's a roller rink movie, but I can't remember the name of it. I could Google it, but I'd rather it just bug me all day. Is it Little Bow Wow is in it? Is that who's in it? Somebody is in that movie. It's actually a good movie. I can't remember the name of it though. I'm gonna have to start looking up roller skate movies. I live fairly close to 3 Walmarts. From where I live, I can choose between 2 different Walmarts. It's pretty much the same where I live too. I live within driving distance of 3, but the funny thing is the one by my house, the quality has gone downhill. It's in one of the most expensive neighborhoods around here, and it's really gone downhill. So I try to avoid it, but because of the convenience, I'm there all the time. All right, I'm getting all quiet because I'm trying to get the loudest side on here. Because when I flip this, I know that Okay, so we're gonna go this side. Perfect. I think that's hilarious and sad at the same time. How many Starbucks do you live by? Just right now, the Safeway by my house has a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks across the street. There's one within 200 feet of that. So that's three. There's three on the hill. So that's six. There's one where one where KFC used to be. That's seven. Just on my side of town, without even going 3 miles, there's seven different Starbucks. Not to mention the double decker one that took over the old Burger King that was famous. All right. I'm gonna go to my world famous serger station. Oh. This time of day, I always start settling down from all the driving around and craziness of the day. Oh, all right. Let me adjust everything. Yeah, it's clean over there. There's enough space to surge. I just have to move. Every time I add something over here, I have to remind myself that I have to be able to put my foot down there and use my serger. Back with my instant black garlic oil. Ooh. That sounds amazing. My son is obsessed with ramen. Like he makes all this special stuff. He goes off. He goes off. Oh. With all the room in this room, I think it's time to get rid of the Golden Girl chair. I love this chair though, but I lug this thing around this room, and it's the last inefficient thing in this room. Well, the second to last. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I should move my camera. Awesome. All right. It would help if I had the foot. Oh, fabric a lanch. Oh, there's fabric everywhere in this room. And the bane of my existence is this slick fabric. I don't know where to store it. Anything that's silky, this is fake snake skin, but anything that's slick always causes a fabric a lanch. I was like, where did the paddle to the serger go? It's buried under fabric. Oh, perfect. I forgot I had my I want to be tall boots on. Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. It's catching the material. Perfect. Beautiful. Pin cushion. Awesome. I keep those slick satin type stuff in a separate bag in a sack. I need to separate everything. It's starting to drive me crazy because even after tonight's stream, I'm gonna have to organize fabric. And that's not even a brag at this point. It's just me crying about it. because I still have to I still have to put the denim somewhere, but I have an idea of what I'm gonna do with all that denim that I purchased. And now that I know where I can get denim for a decent price, I'm actually really excited because Mr. Modelo man really doesn't have denim like that. And every other person I've ever come across asks these insane prices. And I try not to take it personal because I've heard them quote these insane prices to other people. But $10 to $12 a yard for denim seems insane to me. Maybe I'm just being cheap. I don't have the same bulk issue as some. That's the finger pointing straight at sewing. I do. I do have sewing issues, among other things. You know what it is? I absolutely love sewing, and I have an eye, and I'm one of those people that's like, I can do something with that. I can do something with that, and then I have fabric up to the rafters, literally, literally. Hey, Summer, how's it going? Great to see you. Great to see you. Do you know, I want to say, earlier I was talking trash about Will Smith, and it's more hurt feelings than anything else with the Will Smith issue. I'm speaking straight from an emotional standpoint. It has no, it has nothing to do with fact. It's all emotion. Great to see you, Summer. Great to see you. Perfect. With this woven material, I just have to make sure that the serger catches it because sometimes I get a little squirrely and I'll jerk around and it'll miss. So I just have to make sure. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. Great to see you, Summer. So now that I'm a bit closer, this is the pattern. It's all over the place. But I really like the orange and the red and everything that's in it. And it's got like a smoky look to it as well. So I'm excited. Awesome. But seriously, I really like Alibaba's suggestion because I have miles of slick fabric and no matter where I place it, it causes a fabric avalanche. Like I have this nebula stuff that I bought from Modelo man. I really do not um I really do not know what to do with it. Oh my god, it's on. But I know I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm conflicted with Will Smith. I'm like I said earlier, name a phase in your life if you're like around my age where he wasn't around. Thank you, thank you. I fell in love with this pattern. I got it in what I call the Walmart oopsie aisle, where it's like half cuts, half off, or they'll give you like 3 yards for $6, or depending on what the fabric is, they charge you. Yay, hello, hello. But I've fallen in love with the Walmart oopsie aisle because when I go to the fabric store, I go insane. I walk up to the counter and I'm like, how much is that? And they're like, oh, it's $1.50 yard. I'm like, really? I'd like 15 yards. I have, I think, 8 or 9 yards of the denim. When the guy told me the price, I was like, I'll take 8 yards. Thank you. So with the Walmart oopsies, it kind of keeps me in check where I can make a smaller project because I have an idea of what I'm going to do with my denim. Don't quote me yet, but I have an idea. It's going to be outside of the box. All right. So this is the main body of it. And I really like this color. Like I said a while ago, I wear black, blue, or gray every day. So I'm just trying to incorporate more color into my style. And I get lately with my 90s hoodies, I've been getting a ton of compliments with those. So it's all working out for the good. Can you hear my son singing? He's a singer. He is such a singer. He puts his headphones on and he rocks out. Oh, to be 14 again. Because he'll look at me and I'm like, oh no, kid, you be 14 as long as you can. Oh. Oh, I did so. Not paying attention. This was sewn upside down, but nothing was harmed in the filming. So we will continue. Perfect. Let me line this up. Awesome. Perfect. So I really haven't decided if I'm going to add a hood or not. I'm sitting here like saying, "Oh, I haven't decided." I probably will, because I have fallen in love with that look. But what's gonna happen is the same thing that happened with my Mimi G R11 407 coat. If I told you how many coats I made, it's crazy how many coats I've made. And it's early 2024, and I'm already encroaching upon like how many. Let's be real. Um, I've probably made 15 to 20 hoodies already. And that's without the pocket. If the ones just this year with the pocket, I probably made 4 or 5. So I'm trying not to have 75 hoodies like I have jackets. And I have an extensive trench coat collection. All right, let me check to make sure I didn't miss anywhere. Perfect. Perfect. This shirt is definitely something that I've already fallen in love with before I've even put it on. But from the moment I purchased it, I liked the print. It reminds me of something that you'd wear more in autumn. But if there was ever a human who's off season, it's me. I'll wear white after Labor Day. I don't even know why half of those rules are around in the first place. But I'm definitely one of those people who do not adhere to those weird rules. Speaking of which, I tried not to talk about it. So, how many people does daylight savings ruin your life? Or this time of year? How many people? I know it's one of those weird subjects. In America, we have daylight savings time. I don't know why, but did we lose it? We lost an hour. Yeah, we lost an hour. Yeah, because I woke up and I was like, "Oh, it's late. I know I didn't sleep in." I tried to avoid it, but it is that time of year again. And you know what's funny? I am a farmer, and I'm still not pro. I'm still not pro daylight savings. Oh, right. As somebody who's up at 4:30 in the morning, it doesn't make a difference. All right. Let me cut all the cuts. Perfect. I want to see how this frays. I like that semi-frayed look, and this material is well put together. So I'm gonna see how it frays because I can always run the serger through it. All right. So now that I have all that together, I'm gonna put my shapes together. Oh, beautiful. Today has been crazy. It has definitely been a day of running around, but that's the life of a parent. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take a seat. Oh, yay. Now the sun is at the right spot for 12 noon. Absolutely, Summer. We are welcoming people here in the House of Sewing, and you are always welcome here. You are definitely. But and that's another thing. The weather's changing, but I'm trying not to gripe. I'm trying not to gripe. At this time of year, it destroys me because I get up at weird hours. I have biphasic sleeping, and so when I lose an hour, I'm like, please, no. And it's never a good transition. It's never a good transition into autumn. Autumn. I don't even know what into spring. It's never a good transition. But we're gonna carry on. I'm gonna add the arms onto this. Perfect. Perfect. And you know what? I'm gonna die on the hill that smock frock or whatever it is amazing. And I might add some more patches on it. Oh. I absolutely loved Joy's reaction when she saw my smock frock. She was like, "What is that?" It's 3:30 because of daylight savings. Oh, that's so funny, Summer. It gets so confusing. It just does. Why can't we just be like, "Hey, I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know because every year I have the same dilemma, and I would say to myself the same thing. Oh, my mic is not happy. Oh, why are you not happy? Oh, okay, there we go. It happens to me every year. And so I would say the same thing that I would say to my child. You're the common denominator. And when you get used to the time, then it changes again. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. I think that's my main gripe. It's just I'm an extreme creature of routine, and we have hardcore routines in my house. And I need that extra hour. And I try not to have a gripe about it because it's the same issue every year. And it's not like it's going to go away anytime soon, you know? But it catches me every year. Move my trash can. Okay, those are the arms. Perfect. I can take the hat and glass. I tried to toughen up the frock, but it did not happen. And when you get used to the time change, absolutely. Hey, dog, how's it going? Great to see you. Great to see you. Yay. Hello, hello. Another friend from across the pond. I hope life is treating you well. All right, I'm going to add the arms on this shirt. Can't believe people gave me such a hard time for a frock or a smock. You know, it reminded me of Nora Batty from Last of the Summer Wine. When I picked it up, I was like, oh man. And I'm still defending my frock 2 days later. Good times. When are we going to just pick a time and stick with it? Hello, polished and assembled. How are you? Oh, yes, daylight savings time ruins my life as well. Every year. I try not to, like I said, it's And I have the same issue every I was in my car this morning at 4:45 and I was like, it's really 3:45. Yay. I agree. Like I said earlier, I'm a farmer. I'm a real life farmer and I don't I don't see a point to And like Waterday said, if we want to stick to it, we should always have like this time of year and then just stick to it and let the sun do whatever it needs to do. All right, perfect. It is like getting jet lag because the law says and you know what's even funny? Like back in the day, you'd have to switch every clock. Man, I wake up and my phone is like, this is the time. I am telling you what time it is. My TV, everything switched over. And I have this debate every year with my son. He is the only person in this house who knows how to change the clock on the oven every year because he's with his mom on the weekends. And when the time changes, he walks in the house and he's like, you didn't change any of the clocks. And I'm like, son, you're the only person in this house who knows how to. Like I said the other day, if I bothered to stop and try, I'm sure I could do it. But my son, one year when he was young, he got so annoyed that I wouldn't switch the time that he started doing it. And I was like, and he was young. And I'm like, hey, that's a life lesson. So now he does it every year. Perfect. Yay! Daylight savings was meant to help farmers back in the day. Now they can farm during the night, but it does help the kids coming and going to school. Studies have shown that time change is dangerous and causes accident. All the jet lag, none of the fun travel. Because I'm old school, I have to change a bunch of clocks. I had I actually have, 3 grandfather clocks in my house. None are turned on because they drove my son insane. I grew up with a clock that chimed every, hour and every half an hour. So when it was 8 o'clock, it went dong, dong. I got used to it. Oh, man, I forgot about that. Memory unlocked. Yeah, I grew up in a house with an extremely annoying clock. I guess, through conditioning, you get used to it. Hey, Skits! I changed all the clocks before I went to bed Saturday night. Hey, how's it going? Besides, I have a clock on the wall, but besides that, I think besides my oven and my microwave, everything else changes on its own. But that's the laziness of modern convenience that I'm like assuming that everything changes without checking it. That's the danger of modern day conveniences because I'm expecting them just to do it without me even checking. All right. Let me make sure I get the underpin on this because I do not want to miss this piece because I did last time and it really messed me up when I was sewing. I might put 2 pins. I might put a couple more pins under here just to remind myself where the underneath is. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. That arm is on there. Let's go to the other side. Well, I'm glad that I'm not alone. I was trying not to bring it up, but this happens every year. Daylight savings drives me crazy. I end up I was sitting in my car having an existential crisis all because I lost an hour or 2 of sleep this morning. There is a direct link to a lack of productivity and a lack of sleep. So the less sleep I get, the less productive I am. Oh man. You know, I have to bring this up again. It is so sad. I have the Alf theme song stuck in my head because I've tuned out of all politics and I've gone back to watching old school sitcoms. And between rewatching Magnum PI for the third time and Alf. I have that song stuck in my head. Oh, this is gonna look great with the colors and everything. This is gonna look awesome. Yay, it's great to see everybody. It's great to see Summerman's Pies, Dog, Pam, Skits. It's great to see everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. And I'm glad all the people who do not sleep at night, such as myself, I am so glad that you guys found me because I'm one of those people who do not sleep at night. So when I find people who go live at like 1:30 my time, I'm like, thank you. That's why I'm subscribed to a bunch of Australian YouTubers and a lot of people from the UK as well. And there's somebody who every weekend they go live at 3:30 in the morning my time. I don't know what that is in the UK. But it makes me laugh because I'm either like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, or like, oh, this show's on, it's time to go to bed. Yay. All right. Let me check the chat. Yay. Hello, hello, hello. At this point, I always say, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna add a hood." Let's stop. Let's be real. Especially with this. This is something I'm gonna rock all the time. I'm definitely gonna put a hood on this. Perfect. Perfect. Like I said on the other arm, I made a really I think it's because if I do the same thing over and over, and I made a really rookie mistake, so I had to, like, remind myself to pin the underneath of the shirt. I don't know why the other day, I really made a rookie mistake, and so I've been really shaming myself to not repeat it. But I think I was talking and I just flat out missed a piece like I did now with my pinning. Alright. Perfect. Alright, one more pin, then I'm gonna start sewing. Beautiful. Thank you, dog. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so perfect. I'm serious. I really liked Alibaba's suggestion because I really do not know what to do with this. I have a ton of really slick fabric, or I need to hurry up and make a garment with it. Oh, oh, is it gonna fall? It is so. You guys have to see this. We're gonna do some behind the scenes here in the House of Sewing. Let me move this. I have fabric everywhere, but this pile right here is I have intentions to work on this pile, but it gets higher and higher and higher. And so I'm constantly putting fabric on there, trying to balance it. Awesome. I changed my car clock when I was driving, and I was gonna set my watch forward while I was driving, but to do while I was driving and smoking is just too much. Yeah, that is a bit too much. You totally reminded me I have to switch over a bunch of watches. You totally reminded me right now. All right. You know what's so funny? I knew that daylight savings was going to be a point of contention. I knew. I think the world would be a better place if we all just got a little bit more sleep. All right. Oh. You know what? I think that's why I'm feeling so run down today, too. If you were in this century, you could send the fabric to Vietnam and have a 6-year-old make you something for $1.50. I don't mind it. I think people who get mad about it just make it harder on themselves by being you know, it's this particular jump that gets me every single time. It's not the leaping back, it's the leaping forward. So it's just when I lose an hour, it messes with my routine, you know. Human beings are creatures of routine. We do things, we're tell me that we're not. We are definitely creatures of routine. So you know, if you mess with my routine, I'm gonna be in my car crying at 3:30 in the morning, reviewing my life of how did I get here. All right. But yeah, I made a video about everything I did this weekend and about the frock, about the funny frock that I purchased. You guys should definitely go check it out. I purchased a new external hard drive. So, oh, excuse me. So I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos. That's a fair warning, I guess. But now that I have a ton of space, I'm gonna make a lot more videos because you know I'm a lot more than just Friday shows, and I was scared of running out of space, so I was making my videos shorter and shorter, and now I do not necessarily have to worry about that because I have miles of space in my new hard drive. All right. Is that a threat or a promise? That's both. Hold on, hold on. Let me get my supervillain voice. Hold on. That's both. That's more my Batman voice, I guess. I'm not wearing hockey pads. He's gonna fill that thing up into you know, um not making videos takes up a ton of space. It does. It takes up a ton of space. So I had to get serious. I had one of those conversations with myself of like, okay, if this is what you want to do, you have to get like an adult size external hard drive. Oh. Because I kept on going to Walmart every time I would run out of space, and I would buy one that was 2 more terabyte or whatever. And this time I made a dramatic leap in space and size. So my so-called life the movie will be coming soon to a YouTube theater near you. Oh, why are you stuck? There you go. There you go. That just sounds right. My so-called life the movie. And then I could come back with my so-called life the revenge. No, my so-called life 2, the revenge. Perfect. Perfect. You know, now that I think about it, that's why everybody was so chippy today. When I say chippy, it's a term, it's a hockey term when you're literally checking someone. I'm going the wrong. You're checking someone with your stick to get a reaction out of them so they can get a whistle. And I did notice that people were a bit more snappy today. It's because no one got sleep last night, actually. Perfect. Perfect. Ah, I think I might have misfired on that one, but we'll see. Okay, we'll restart. Oh, and it was right at the end, too. It's always right at the end. Ah, okay. Perfect. All right, I'm definitely gonna have to check this because I felt a few mistakes on that one. So let me get a pin cushion so I don't make too much of a mess around here. But this was a beautiful start to the week. As much as I'm griping, it's daylight savings time. It makes me feel better that everybody's kind of having the same complaints. Guess that's what the internet's for, is commiserating. All right, let me check to see if I don't see, make sure I don't see any daylight. Oop, 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 oop. It's always right where I thought it would be, but I can fix that. Oh, and while all the information got pushed over to the other hard drive, it freed up all of the stuff that I wasn't able to access, or like certain videos. So if you start hearing Charlie Wilson again, it's because my old hard drive was like, we don't have enough space for this, and the new one was like, keep the party going. So you might hear "Don't Miss the Party Train" because that is my song. And it's back. There's a bunch. The Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac. The problem is too, as one of the reasons I don't play a lot of these songs is because I don't know if I'm gonna get a copyright striker or not anymore. I'm gonna start uploading stuff to my backup, my blooper channel, because I truly do not know anymore. Every video is different. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I just want to rock out to songs that I love and I remember. It's not even complicated. There's nothing nefarious behind it. These songs are like the soundtrack of my life. I incorporate them, and it's funny how YouTube is like, no soup for you, copyright strike. But my new hard drive really freed up all the stuff, like all my Penelope Keith videos, everything is back. So I'm gonna start adding to my other channel as well. Right, perfect. Whoops. All right, so I'm gonna check this other arm, and I think we have a shirt. It's amazing what happens when I don't line everything and I pregame. I did a lot of troubleshooting before the stream just to make sure that this was ready to go. Perfect. All right, so let's check the arm and see what it looks like. Oh, that's perfect. Let me cut this mistake. Well, it's not a mistake, it's a string. Beautiful. Now I have "Don't Miss the Party Train" stuck in my head. Beautiful. That's one of the reasons I love sewing these, is because it's an easier project to do on stream and I can finish it. So I'm not sitting there for 3 hours trying to finish something on stream. I've learned the hard way about overambitious projects. Oh, I think the Cosby sweater can fit over my 15 layers that I have on. Oh. All right. This was a Walmart oopsie. We're going to see how it looks. Oh, I found a mistake. I can fix that in 2 seconds. Please stand by. We had momentary technical difficulties. Oh, where'd you go, mistake? Where did you go? Oh, that's funny. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that was a big one. Perfect. But it's awesome because my hard drive has freed up all my Gap Band stuff, all the videos I have in there. So everything that's been in my hard drive that I wasn't able to access got freed up when I bought the mega hard drive that I have now. So I'll be able to continue my piratey mayhem. I made this neck hole a little small, so if you hear ripping, that's my 8 head going through I always say that as a disclaimer because this it fits. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I can sit down with it too. That's the beautiful thing about stretchy fabrics in general, is that I can sit down with it. But I'm sitting up extremely close today for some reason. So we'll switch the angle. There we go. Holy shit, a couple of guys got in a scuffle at a Walmart around here, and one fatally man. That's why I faithfully mind my own business. No one is joking around anymore. I don't know if I'm going to add a hood. Well, no, I always say that. I always say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to add a hood to this. Oh, this is beautiful. Where the phone? That's crazy, Kilroy. That's absolutely crazy. Sorry, I have to turn. I'm turning around to see how this looks. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm really glad that I made this. The design, the fit, everything. This is sweater material. This, this particular oopsie reminds me of a bath mat. It's the same material and color as my bath mat, but this shirt is like I was literally just about to say like a warm hug on YouTube Live. This shirt is perfect. It's warm, it's fuzzy, and it fits great. And it goes around all 9 layers that I'm wearing right now. I love the colors of that fabric. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. It is cozy. It is. I don't know if it's because the temperature's changing. I'm like hot all of a sudden. It's because I'm used to it being cold. Does look cozy. Thank you. Thank you. When I saw the color, I instantly fell in love with it. And I was like, I definitely need something like this. I'm glad that I grabbed a couple of the oopsies because I know if I'd come back, this particular color would not have been there. So I'm definitely going to call this one a victory. You know what's funny? I don't know if I want to add a hood on this. I might hang out with this for a minute. I like the colors. Does seem to be fall-like though. It's exactly, that's what I'm saying. This is extremely fall. There actually is something that I need to fix before I forget. A project I definitely could be doing while I'm sporting this. This is a victory. Let me back up a little bit though. I don't know why I am sitting so close today. Hi. I don't know why I am sitting so close. There we go. I'll back up a little bit. But I absolutely love the color, the way it looks. It looks great with a vest. This is the combo that I go for. I always love it when people are like, "Ooh, I like your shirt. Ooh, I like your vest," you know. But this is my style. So this is definitely something that I'm gonna wear. I haven't decided if I'm gonna add a hood yet or not. And I love I love these projects. What did I do with my pattern? I just had it in my hand. For all those concerned, this is Simplicity Pattern S9 158. And I will never get over this guy's beard ever. They sprayed that thing on with a spray can. And I want his shirt too. If you ever see a pattern like that, my so-called life at my so-called life. But Simplicity Pattern S9 158 for the win. I love this pattern. It's become my new Mimi G R11 407. I like the colors. Does seem to fit fall though. You appeared to not like the cuffs by the way you're wearing it. Oh no, they're just flopping over. That's just how it flopped over. I haven't even dealt with the cuffs yet. I like that with no hood. I do have a ton of bias tape. Oh, Joy, and if you're out there, you inspired me to buy this, and these are the only ones I'm showing you because I have an embarrassing amount of bias tape that I purchased recently. But I have a ton of bias tape, quilt binding, all kinds of fun stuff. Oh man. Yeah, no hood for this one. Should have ran it through the serger, huh? Oh man, young Mr. Sewing is in there singing. He is singing his face off. Oh wow. Okay. So give me one quick second. I'll be right back. Oh man. The kid is like a lead singer. No collar either, huh? So we're going hardcore on this shirt. I think a collar would take the colors and overall the pattern of the fabric, even though it isn't a pattern really. I know what you're saying. Because it's all over the place, it would make it look even more funky. Yeah, definitely. Definitely one of those things. I'm gonna take a quick break because I am burnt out. Oh, and for anyone wondering, this break is sponsored by Cactus Cooler. I don't know. For my next project, I have so much fabric. I need to start dealing with it. Like I still have that butterfly print that I haven't even touched since I folded it. I have a ton of denim that I still have not dealt with. I'm not saying that I haven't dealt with it, but I need to fold it and get it even to where I can start cutting it. And I'm trying to think. Do you know what's so funny? Like every time I go to my fabric section, I look and I find a bag, and I'm like, oh, I haven't even taken this out of the bag. So I need to start dealing with the stuff that I have, and I'm really saying that out loud more for myself than anything else. Because it's come to the point where I live in a fabric store. I used to always say, oh, I live in a sewing machine shop. And I've retired that, and it is now a fabric store. I have this crazy idea of remaking a Lenny Kravitz coat. There's quite a few things I want to do, but I think I want to do it with the material that I have. Originally, I was going to do it in red, but I'm not here trying to copy the shush-o-matic himself, Lenny Kravitz. I think what I'm going to do is I really like the style, but I'm going to incorporate it into my own style. So I have a crazy idea of something that I'm gonna make, but I have to clean. I have to clean. I have to organize my fabric before I do it because it's gonna take a lot of lining. It's gonna take a lot of thinking about it before I make it. And it's not just the Lenny Kravitz coat that I want to create, but there's quite a few things that I'm going to recreate. Maybe that blue fabric or you have or did it. Maybe don't. Oh, excuse me. You're just giving away things because you know what I have in here. I have quite a few things in here, but I've been thinking about it, and it's not even about recreating it at this point. I like the style. I like how it looks. I'm gonna make it to my exact size. I have a feeling though that Lenny is probably my size too. Though when I see pictures of Lenny Kravitz, there's a YouTuber I watch. I absolutely love her, and she has a standby screen where she has 3 people dancing, and one of them is Lenny Kravitz, and he's dancing horribly, but he looks like he's my height. And he was sitting down when I met him, so I can't say that I saw exactly how tall he is. But you know what's really funny? You know what? Because we live in the information era, Alexa, how tall is Lenny Kravitz?
Lenny Kravitz is 5 feet 9 inches tall.
Okay, so they're saying he's 5'9". That really means he's 5'6". He is my height. Lenny Kravitz, maybe that's why he's just me because we were toe to toe. And that is just and that is just the 4 yards of conversation. I love saying that. Lenny's short as shit. Kilroy, I've seen Tom Cruise in person. He's 5'4", 5. Like if they say he's 5'3", they're lying. I'm surprised. I've met Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is 5'6", 5'7". Um, I meant well, Richard Dreyfuss like looks short. Richard Dreyfuss is like 5'4". I was so shocked. I met Richard Dreyfuss. Who else? Sean Hayes is 5. He was taller than I thought. I met Sean Hayes and he was 5'8". 5'9" ish. I thought he was shorter, but a lot of these people are not as tall as you think they are. I kind of like Waternay's analogy of Deep Space Nine versus Voyager. Kate Milgrew on Voyager, she's like 5'5", so all the actors were short. Um, the wormhole Jesus himself, Ben Sisko, is a tall man. And so because he was tall, all the actors on the show were almost 6 feet. But on Voyager, they were all my height because Kate Milgrew was 5'5". So relatively speaking, they all had to be around the same height. So in Hollywood, people are never as tall or as big as you think they are. It's all lights, glitz, and camera tricks. Let's be real. All of it is movie magic. There's people I've seen in public, and I'm like, Oh, you don't look anything like you do. But as somebody who has met people who has like watched someone's YouTube channel and then met them in person, none of us are what we say we are. None of us are as tall as we say we are. I wear boots. I'm 5'9". When I walk up on people, they think I am so tall. I'm wearing cowboy boots. It's all a lie. I call my cowboy boots my Shatners because it gives me the illusion of height. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's the wrong notes. Wrong notes. So I have a question for everybody. And I'm still not over it. Is it okay to use cheap thread in a sewing machine? I know there's a ton of arguments for and against. People say yay, people say nay. I recently purchased something from Amazon that presented itself. Let me see if I can find a real spool. Where is a real spool? Okay, this is the perfect example. Lightning can completely change your face, and there's a reason. Oh, lighting completely change your face, and there's a reason why there's makeup for camera and makeup for off camera. Oof. There's people I've seen in person, and I'm like, you don't look anything like what. I'm 5 3/4. I'm round up, and I wear heels a lot. No cheap thread. It breaks. Okay, here. Come on, give me the big sewing propaganda. Let's. I've come to fight. No cheap thread. It breaks the fluff, clogs up your machine, and it makes any top stitching look like crap. I've used old thread, and there's new cheap thread work just fine, except for it breaks. And that is true. That is very true to be expected from the old thread. Absolutely. Cheap thread is great for mock-ups and non-structural type sewing. See, here's my argument. When I first got online, I would watch nothing but sewing content. Every single person was like, do not use your grandma's thread. Do not use your grandma's thread. I used a lot of it, and nothing happened. Recently, in one of my 3 a.m. Amazon purchases, I thought I was buying a box of these. This is Coates and Clark. I was trying to buy the bootleg versions of this. On the advertisement on Amazon, it had a giant spool like this. To give you, relatively speaking, this is another Coates and Clark. This is a normal size. This is how big the other spool is. It's double, triple the size, quadruple the thread. Okay. So I thought I was purchasing a box of these. When the box was on my porch, I was like, what's that? Because that's not big enough. This is what I received. And it's on these plastic spools. This is extremely cheap thread. This is extremely cheap thread. But it hasn't harmed my machine any more than any other thread ever has in any way, shape, or form. So I'm 50-50 because this is the thread everyone uses. I don't know if it's not top of the line. It just doesn't fray. This is everywhere. It's Coates and Clark. I actually would do a commercial for them because they're reliable. I have it on a million projects. Don't have a problem with it. This stuff is so cheap. It's fraying you can see it where it's puffy up there. That's fraying. But I'm using the black right now, and I have yet to have a problem with it. Maybe I'm optimistic. Maybe I'm over optimistic. Maybe I'm just like, hey, it's a bunch of thread, Cheap thread is great for mock-ups. They're paid off by Big Sewing. They meet a Big Sewing operative down by their dogs and get a paper bag full of money to say you need all new stuff. And you're Satan. It's but I think it is because it was during the plague, so it got in my head. I watched sewing video after sewing video after sewing video. And it reminds me of those infomercials where people are semi-useless. They're like, I don't know how to use a washing machine, and they kick it and throw the bleach on the floor. And they're like, here's the Wash-O-Matic 5000. I think this thread is just fine. It hasn't hurt anybody. The thread hasn't got the cops called. The thread hasn't come home on probation, It's not anywhere near. I got ripped off. I didn't pay that much though, so I'm not mad about it, but it's nowhere near the size. Like, come on. It literally had one of these on the advertisement. But it is what it is. Amazon is world famous for not being what they say they are. But it just oh, now I gotta close a box of this cheap box. You know what's so funny? I don't even want to intermingle this stuff with my other thread. Oh, but cheap thread's funny that way. And I keep on I try to have a large amount of thread in my house because I'm always sewing. So it would be crazy if I ran out of thread. That's like working at Starbucks and running out of coffee. Shouldn't happen. So it's one of those things. And let me know, what do you think? Alibaba and Polish and Assemble, the Water, believe that you should not use cheap thread. Gilroy and I are pirates. I think a lot of the things that they tell you online, sometimes for the longest time, I changed my needle with every single project because I was told to. And on Singer's official YouTube channel, they'll tell you, change the needle with every project and make sure you use a Singer needle. I believed it and I did it, and I just ran through a bunch of really quality needles. I wouldn't put it past them to run out of coffee. Funny story, I worked at a Starbucks in West Hollywood, and me and this guy were a rookie. We kind of were like, we didn't know what we were doing. We were on the sales floor with the manager. We didn't make coffee. I don't think I'd ever seen a man lose it. So he literally, the big vein, he was like, this is Starbucks. He started shaking. He's like, we don't run out of coffee. They take coffee serious at Starbucks, even 23 years ago. After buying cheap Amazon thread, struggling in messy tangle of thread, Ollie exclaims, I got this, and now I'm practically a prisoner in my own. I do a lot of hand sewing though, Ollie. I do a lot of hand sewing. So if it's really crap thread, I can always incorporate it into something. Because if you pull it tight enough, you can't tell. The old saying is true. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Oh, I love it when that saying, oh, you're going to believe me or your lion eyes. That is such a good saying. But I've been really organizing and getting everything together here in my sewing room. So I'm confronted with all of my bad decisions and all the things that I've purchased lately. And I'm like, maybe I should not have bought that. Ollie, it's 2024. If you like sewing thread behind it, you can just say so. Oh, that reminds me, I need to fix my friend over here. I'm gonna fix a patch on here. Do you know what's so funny? I didn't realize how dingy this thing had become until I washed it. And it's like a brand new vest. I hadn't washed this thing in quite a while. I wear this thing. This was like I made this like 9 or 10 years ago. The top patch has changed over the years, but the original design hasn't. But this thing is so ratty that the glue was starting to come off in the washer. So I need to sew a few patches back together on this. We got to do right by Fred Sanford. And he had to take a lap on that one. And I'm not stringing anybody along. All right. So, and you see, I have like, this is white thread that came with the machine. I'm not going to put it in machine, but I use it for hand sewing all the time. All the time. Now, let's see if that's the one with the... I use extremely large hand sewing needles because I have big hands, and I have to find the tomato that had the pin cushion. So I know I've asked this question before, but a YouTube channel I watch recently asked it, why are all pin cushions tomatoes? Why is that the base and original design, at least for people my age? Is there some like nefarious push to push tomatoes? I'm allergic to tomatoes. And I know now we're in the modern era, we make pin cushions out of everything. But somebody asked that question. I watch a show where people judge clothes. I know that's a shocker. But they said, they're like, why are all pin cushions tomatoes? And that's a really good question. And I have to clean out all excess thread before I use this. Perfect. You need to make a sewing needle wallet. Not all pin cushions are tomatoes. Some are strawberries. I've wondered about that too, because if you put enough white pins in a tomato, it looks like a strawberry. I've always wondered about that. It's one of those things, like, what do we do it because everybody else just did it before them and that's just what we do now? Patent pending, but I think I'm going to change the pin cushion world. Should I just like make a outline of my face? I bet I would sell millions. Patent pending. And unlike some people have found out the hard way, I have a lawyer. Tomatoes were the cute thing for a couple of years. Then they were copied by everybody. It's just one of those weird things where it's like, in the middle of the night and you're like, why are all pin cushions tomatoes? I have at least I don't know, 30, 40 tomatoes in this room.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I hear you're trying to clog up your sewing machine.
I knew if I dialed 1-800 help me, I can't sew, somebody would show up. Kids back
Say
in the
enough
day.
ridiculous things about sewing machines and we might get Alibaba on here.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy something that I'm gonna pull out a sewing machine one day that is so tempting that Alibaba is gonna have to hop on. The plan. I just don't have anything rare enough. Yay. There is a free tomato pattern for those. I saw an original out of the magazine. Do you know, I have a bunch of my grandmother's tomatoes that I will never use. They're old. And you can tell because they're all off color.
I dislike tomatoes so much that the pin cushion tomatoes just put me off. I'm going to have to make some other sort of fruit or design or something.
I'm a firm believer that like stuff like voodoo only works if you believe in it. If you believe you're cursed, you're cursed. But I don't believe in any of that stuff. So I would totally make a voodoo doll of myself. That Stretch Armstrong guy, I guarantee you the original face, there probably was a real guy that had that face.
He's had joint problems ever since.
I loved my stupid Stretch Armstrong. I can't believe I just brought that up. I loved that. I rocked that thing until it broke. I loved that thing.
Hello.
I haven't seen a Cabbage Patch Kid face made. That's mean. I still have Godfrey. Godfrey and I are the exact, well, he's probably a year older, but we're the same age. I've had Godfrey my entire life. He is in the middle bedroom, sitting on a mini wicker chair. I'm not even kidding. I don't play. I have my because I'm from that era, so they sent me home with one from the hospital,
Oh,
and I still have it. Oh, right. I'm fixing a patch. Some of these patches came loose.
ah.
I had washed this so long, it was starting to lose its. Like, I washed it and I'm like, oh, it really is blue. It was starting to get kind of dingy. I have a mini dress form in a stand pin cushion.
Mm-hmm. Those
So
are
would that
cute.
be a voodoo doll if I made a pin cushion with my face on it?
Well, if you start to feel poorly, let us know. We'll try it out as an experiment.
I thought this patch was coming off. It's just a really well made. I made this patch with this really weird white canvas in my Brother PE 535, and like the machine could barely take it because this is real canvas.
Oh,
It's this stuff. So a while ago, I was sitting at home and I saw this video about how they sell fabric at Home Depot. And so I went to Home Depot and I bought fabric. It's real. Not everything on the YouTube on the internet is complete butt kiss, but it was real.
I
guess
remember
go ahead.
a few years ago, people were getting the 18th century curtain, the pattern 18th century like floral pattern curtain panels from Lowe's, and they were making gowns because the pattern was apparently very historically accurate. They would have
That's
sew-alongs.
Oh man, I wish I'd known back then. I have a Mega Lowe's account. I wish I knew. I love stuff like that. I love, again, that's why that new vendor I found in my new video, I talk about my love for making things out of things that were not necessarily meant for clothes.
Mm-hmm. I watched your new video this afternoon, but I didn't get to your Friday one. I'm still one behind.
I snuck in my I was feeling froggy, so I made a video. And like I said, it reminded me of back in the day. Every Saturday I would get up early, I would film everything I did, but it was always me going towards a sewing machine. And then I would film myself fixing said sewing machine. Then I would make my video. It was my Saturday tradition. So it felt good to get a video out again. I could use a Mega Lowe's again. Lowe's loves me because I pay my bill. I have a stack of Lowe's shirts. Whenever I pay, because I have a corporate and a personal one, whenever I pay them, they send me 2 shirts.
That's weird.
You're roboting.
All right.
Oh, hi. I haven't seen the last 3 videos actually. I've been pumping them out, and now that I have a bigger hard drive, I'm gonna be making a lot more videos. And like I said, it's recovered a lot of my lost data as well, so I'm excited. And I finally get to pull all my kilt files, because when I made my cape and I made my kilt, I made a really awesome video, and then the file got corrupted or something. I don't know.
Your drive just couldn't handle the utility kilt.
It literally shut it down. You know what? Utility kilt. May you give me a pair of carpenter pants, a utility kilt. I like pockets like that. It's different. When I'm working, I need 75 pockets.
Yeah.
I love carpenter pants with the hammer hook and everything.
And they're breezy and comfortable in the hot weather. You just don't want thigh chafing.
All Lowe's means to me is work. If I get something there, it just means more work. That is true. That is true. I like going in there like on Tuesday mornings because you don't see all the guys on Saturday. They're like, I'm here because my wife's been yelling at me about that switch in the bathroom for 6 months. And tell me that's not true. My closest Lowe's an hour and a half away. I'd go that far if I had a Mega Lowe's account. They're so nice to me. I have hats. I have Lowe's patches. I actually have one on my Dr. Patch jacket because like they send me all this free stuff, and you know me, they're like they send me an email and I sent them an email back. I was like, you guys are awesome. Do you guys have any patches? They sent me patches.
Nice.
So I have 4 or 5. Every year they'd send me a patch after that.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have quite a few.
I was having some work done on my house, and the guy was so disorganized that I was going to Lowe's like 4, 5, 6 times a day.
Yikes.
It's like, I mean, it's close, but come on now. You can't figure out what you need all at once. But anyway, so I was going in there so often that the manager like put an automatic 10% discount on my account. Like, oh, here, welcome back. Let me throw this on there.
What movie is that where those people buy a mansion? It's an 80s movie and they're
Yes, the money pit.
Yeah, he probably thought you were living in a money pit. Gosh, I loved that movie and now I can't remember the name of it. I watched it over and over as a kid.
That one's good, especially if you're doing any kind of crazy remodeling project.
You got to go at 5 a.m. or at 9 p.m. to avoid the honeydew people. So true. It's true. Sometimes it can work like that. Never know until you start tearing it apart. Oh, that is my biggest pet peeve. Because I'll always tell myself, oh, this is like a half-hour project. 9 hours later. Literally. And I'm a loathing human. So I'm like, why did I start this project?
Well, I mean, I could understand if on occasion it's like, oh no, we need the widget for the thing over here. But this was like every single day, 5 times a day, because he didn't have me pick up the stuff all at once.
I love the money pit too, Ollie, and the tub. I think that's what I remember. I think that's what I remember more than anything else is the tub scene, more than anything else. Good times. Hey, you're running into stuff you don't expect, and you might have to go back. Do you know what's really funny? I'm not like the second you said that, my brain was like, I'd fire that guy. That's in the job application. Do you know how to be prepared? It's literally like written in the application, like, hey, here we don't do 9 trips to Lowe's.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed. I would talk to him and I'd be like, okay, come on now. We told you about the thing. We showed you where it was going to be. I would much rather get some extra stuff and take it back than have to go to the store that many times because you didn't have me get the stuff, or even like the stuff for the next day, or, come on.
I actually had a conversation with Isaiah today. He was asking me about like why it's so important to have a license as a contractor.
Oh.
And he didn't know that I had a 2-hour rebuttal of why those people are ruining my life and the state of California. People who do not have a contractor's license, painter's license, handyman license. It's easy to get any license here. And like, in order to get a contractor's license, if you don't want to do it the hard way, you can go to the local JC, and for 6 months, you can get schooled. And 6 months later, you will have a real cert that says you are a licensed contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the company had a low limit on his card, so he had to split it up to 8 trips. I would have lost it.
We were using our own card.
I would have lost
no
it.
low limit.
Oh my gosh. I recently had someone come over and do work at my house, and he ordered a bunch of stuff, and he's not coming back until all the stuff he ordered is there at once, so he can come to my house and do it all in one day. Oh, I'm over it. I'm
And then
over
you
it.
try to be prepared and you say, okay, I want to do these projects. And they're like, no, don't bother me with trivialities about the thing I'm doing in the afternoon. I want to start with this thing on the morning.
My house is a great example of why licenses are a good idea. All I have to know now is it like a positive thing, or did someone without a license ruin your house? Because that's a big point here in the state of California where unlicensed contractors come and there's a lot of work here. We're like Vegas, we're always building. We're all like there's always somebody who's like, I want a house, but then there's people who claim to be things they're not, and then they take the money and run.
Or sometimes people know better, but they don't do it the right way anyway. That's
I was trying to tell my son that because I think he wants to take my equipment and become a junior handyman, which I 100% support. But he's gonna have to go on a crash course of like how to actually know how to fix stuff.
yeah.
Plus, a lot of my tools have my name on it, so we're traceable. And if anyone wonders where this extremely hardcore vest came from, gosh, a long time ago, I bought a Green Bay Packers jacket. I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan, but I turned it into my most loyal vest that I've had this for a very long time. But when I washed it, it loosened up some of the patches. And let's be real, like this thing is it's seen better days. That's why a lot of the vests I hang because they're like my son's age. And the one that I used to wear when I first started streaming, I got known for one particular vest. That sad guy slowly started disintegrating. It's the silver tab I told you about that I didn't realize that I cut a $500 Levi's jacket.
Oh dear.
My dad gave me all his old Levi's. How am I supposed to know the guy was sitting on a Vina de Milo? The guy was sitting, like, how did I know he had a freaking, like, lost art in this giant pile of, like, and I'll never forget because I was wearing the vest. And I was like, I was reading on the computer and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, I have that. I have that. And it all started because I have what I call what is it? I can't quit you. In Brokeback Mountain, how they're wearing those big jackets with the white ruffles, I have quite a few of those. I had no idea. My dad gave me all his old Levi's. He gave me an original one of those. That thing's worth a couple $100. So it was back when I used to go to Ventura. I went to Aardvarks and I saw my jacket. I was like, they're selling this thing for $200. I was on the highway going home. I'm like, I'm checking all my Levi's. I'm wearing my vest. I'm wearing my vest, and I realized that I cut into a silver tab jacket. And I still have all the Levi's. I have stacks of Levi's stuff. But I learned the hard way. It was built 100 years ago. The structure and the lath of the plaster are solid as Gibraltar rock, but whoever plumbed and wired up the place was probably drunk as moonshine.
Oh, no.
My brother lives in a house that was built in the 1920s. It's one of the most confusing things on earth. I have 3 thick leather label Levi's jeans. That stuff, like, and I have Levi's that are basically older than me. I would always laugh when, like, I know where they came from. Most of them came from Gemco. And if you remember Gemco, don't forget to take aspirin in the morning.
You know what? You just be quiet with your aspirin.
I remember I could just get an icy at all those places. I loved all of those places. Alpha Beta, Gemco. They all had slushies. Kmart had full food court back in the day.
I told you about the bookbinder. I think I told you after the stream that I was watching a bookbinder, and he was putting a hardcover, like a fancy leather cover on a copy of Dune. And he was so excited that he'd found one that was 50 years old. And he's like, yeah, this one's from 1974. I'm like, yeah.
Ugh.
1974.
You know what's so funny? I was trying to tell my mom my rule. I was like, if you remembered, it's not an oldie. And she looked at me and she's like, bro, you're an oldie. I was like, no.
I mean, that's a nice thing to say, but let's be honest, it's not the truth.
Do you know I listen to a lot of Faith No More, and I'll never forget. I put it on in the car, and my son's like, "This is old people music." I was like, "You're lucky we're not far. We're far away from home."
Same.
Me too. I told you I have a steam engine book from it's either 1899 or 1900.
Huh.
It's
That
literally
sounds interesting.
it's in my bookshelf. I keep it close because it's not the oldest book I have, but that's like a lost art. So if I want to get real steampunk, I could get real like 1899 steampunk.
Okay.
And because it's written in plain English, there's a ton of hand-drawn instructions. Oh, the golden oldies. And a lot of them I can't get rid of because there's no ebook of them.
This is true.
You know what's really funny? Did I leave my book? Like, oh, I left it in the car. I recently bought a 1970s book about particle physics in the universe. I just love those books because they were so optimistic and they were so like, hey, look at all of this. And a lot of that has been proven either to be right or wrong. But like, I absolutely love this book I'm reading right now. I need to go get it out of the car. Said it once, I'll say it again. Motley Crue and Nirvana does not belong on an oldies station because somehow I heard it on an oldies station once. They do it here now. We have a station that is formerly K Earth 101 that they'll literally go from Frankie Valley to Alice in Chains now.
Yeah, see, we need oldie stations of different eras. You know, like big band jazz is and like stuff like that is not necessarily what I want to hear when I want to hear some 50s rock and roll or early 60s or whatever. And then if I'm listening to those kind of oldies, then I don't want to hear the modern oldies like Nirvana. Like it's not the same vibe.
I love California Dreaming. I love that song, but like I don't want to hear that and then Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I stopped going on that station because of my reaction. But I grew up listening to commercial radio. I was addicted to AM radio, and like that whole era has kind of disappeared. I have radios in this room because again, I have an antenna above my house, so I get great reception. I still listen to the radio. I still actually listen to a lot of talk radio, but it's not like it used to be. Like I have to search where they're not talking about politics, or it's not George Norrie or Art Bell, which I both love still. I'm not even into that stuff anymore, and I still watch them both. But I listen to them on the radio. I've heard California Dreaming way too many. I can such a good song.
Oh, how are your California plans going, Kilroy?
Got
that still
down
in the
on
back of your
my
mind?
knees and I start to pray and I start. Man, I've been singing on Rashawn's stream. I'm gonna have to go back and see how. Like, I am so off pitch. Shout out to everybody on Rashawn's stream for not making fun of me to my face for my bad dancing and singing. But they put on some classics and I can't help myself, and I am terrible at dancing.
I don't think you're terrible at dancing. You got a good groove going.
Oh, thank you. But for real, I can sing.
I think you're teachable. I think you're teachable. You should go take some singing classes. Prove it to yourself. say, oh, you know what? I'm better than I thought.
AM music stations are over here. AM talk radio. We still have AM radio stations here. And and you know, it's like sometimes when I'm listening to the radio, I feel like I'm the last person on earth. Like it's me and someone's grandpa, you know, and Winnetka. We're the only two people on this side of town listening to AM. I'm gonna have to wait until I can take a few trips out there to lock in my decision. I'm not trying to be like a runaway in the 60s. So I did that at least 3 times and I failed twice. So it works sometimes and it doesn't work.
Well, when you come out to California, we'll show you around.
You know what my problem was? I tried to move to San Francisco like 6 different times. And even in the 90s, you'd have to be a millionaire to live there. And then when the tech boom hit, it was over. That's when all the same houses that were worth 300,000 all of a sudden are worth 2 million.
Yeah.
It was my dream to live in San Francisco. And that was the one place I never moved to. Out of every city, it was always too expensive. And I'm glad I didn't move there. We'd be having this conversation in a smaller garage right now. There is somebody I really respect. She lives in San Francisco. She's a YouTuber, and she was in her garage. She has this giant house. She was in her garage, and I was like, "Oh, you need to leave that room. I'm getting claustrophobic." It was tiny, but she has the stereotypical San Francisco garage. But she has the full house. That she lives in that area.
I remember I got notification from the city. I know I've told you, but I can't remember if I've told the chat. Excuse me. And apparently when I had a pool table delivered, I guess some people thought the neighborhood was really going downhill. I mean, I gave them beer, but it was root beer and cookies. So, I got a call from the city saying that someone had reported me for using my garage space as living space. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's storage. I mean, sure, there was a pool table in there, but there are a lot of boxes. I've got boxes on the pool table now. It's terrible. I have to clean out the garage. But they were saying, oh, by law, you have to have room for one car in your garage. And I'm looking up and down the street. Everyone's parked on the street in their driveway. I'm like, nobody's parking in the garage. The garage is small. I'm not sure my vehicle will fit in the garage. So they left me alone.
That's crazy. I wish someone would come and tell me, man. See, that's why I don't answer my door when strange people are at my door. You gotta live on the San Jose end of things if you're a normal person. But a lot of people, that's actually someone to move because a lot of people have moved out of there. The Tim the Tool Man Taylor garage. Just say you have a tiny Japanese car. That's crazy. I wish someone in the city would come by and try to tell me what to do. I wish they would. That reminds me, I have to cut my fruitless mulberry. I have to. And you'll see it in the video, so I'm going to tape myself doing.
They left me alone after that, but I was driving a truck at the time, and I'm like, there's no room in my garage for my truck.
That's another thing. There's no way I could fit Charlene in here. She's 25 feet long. I have storage.
Your wing mirrors would be bumping up on the side. The door would be halfway down the truck bed.
Like you can see, I have storage in this room. Like that's not the only door in this room. Behind every flag, there's a door. Behind all of those are all doors where I have storage and stuff. So I cut this room in half. Because I would rather have storage space than park a car in here. Imagine that you're drinking beers and shooting pool in your garage, and all of a sudden they think you set up an apartment in there. No, when you said that, I'm really surprised that no one's said that about me. because I have a whole sewing lounge in here. But
Don't
there's
give
no
them
way you could
ideas.
live in here. Like you can't live in here. There's not a bed. There's not like this room is solely for watching hockey and sewing. My son is such a singer. Can you hear him? He's hitting it heavy. He's working out, so he's like calling out his moves. He's like,
Oh.
"What? Dad?" He's so lucky. He is so lucky that I'm a night owl. Well, he's a night owl because of me. So that whole conversation's moot. I have not heard him. It's so shocking because there's like separation between us. He's in the living room in front of the house. I could see I can see his silhouette in the drape behind the drapes on the camera, but I could hear him like he's in the hallway. He's so loud. You don't have a hot plate in there to heat up Oh my gosh, I've owned a hot plate. Man, I've come a long way. I've owned a hot plate.
Don't give him ideas or he'll be plugging in one of those vintage coffee makers.
I did, and I broke the glass. I remember I pulled it out on my Nailco, and then I tried it with the Keurig, but the Keurig is just weak. And when I had an espresso maker in here, I was like this. Literally, like, okay, what do you want to do? So espresso makers are not allowed to be in the same room that I sew in. Because I would drink coffee and pull a shot and put it in my coffee and be like, gee, I wonder why I thought I was tired. I thought I was tired.
You start singing Sia.
I still have a hot plate. I use it to light hookah coals. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've tried everything in here, but the espresso maker was like right now my knees twitching. I am naturally jumpy. I am naturally at like a 9 on a 1 to 10, you know? So when you had espresso, I am like, oof. Instead of what's eating Bob, it's what's eating sewing. I'm walking around. Hi, how's it going? Are you mad at me? Hey, hi. Espresso and I are not friends. We are not. I had to learn the hard way. The new hot plates make the old ones look shitty in comparison. They glow nowadays. I had a ghetto one that I bought in downtown LA. So I could eat ramen in my crummy 1-bedroom apartment. It was very New York style in LA. But it was like, let's be real, I was paying $250 a month.
A steal.
Well, I had a really cool view of downtown LA. It's just no one would come and visit me because I lived in downtown LA. There's a reason why they call espresso crack club. No, that's real. Like, because I drink coffee all day, I'll fall asleep. I yawn and drink coffee. Even I drink the extremely dark stuff, and I'm bougie, and I drink Starbucks. Doesn't grab me. Espresso grabs me. Like, excuse me, sir, where do you think you're going? I have a regular electric coil hot plate, and what is that?
Kurodori?
Induction top one too.
Hmm.
I finished college no, I started college and you finished it. So I needed you to help me out on that one.
I'm not familiar with that brand. So Alibaba, why do you have hot plates? Oh, for when the power goes off, hot plates run off the generator. There you go. You answered my question. Thanks. You're like a mind reader.
I have cast iron stoves for when the power goes out. I have a giant fire pit and I'm making cornbread, bacon, eggs, and everything. And I'm not even kidding.
My stove is gas with no electric ignition. And I do have a little fire pit thingamajiggy in the yard. So Kilroy has words for you, William.
I do. You know what? It's starting to catch on Rashawn Street. Oh, yellow is so nice to me because I was trying to read the bracket today and I did this, and all of a sudden he zoomed in. I'm like, oh crap, they caught me. He caught me being blind. Sorry, I'm blind. They're so nice to me. And everyone, so now they're like, put on your glasses because I'm leaning in. I got in close today because I truly could not see. Oh, this technology is. My stick fell.
Uh-oh.
I'll just have to retighten it. I have every dollar store phone clamp you could possibly think of.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to put a new phone clamp in my car. The
I
one I
wish I
have
had.
blocks the screen.
It's real though, Rashad. I respect the heck out of you guys. Are so nice to me because I am blind as a bat, and it's denial. It's all vanity too.
Put your glasses on. You look great in your glasses.
It's vanity. It is all. My vision is trash too. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not alone on that one. And I've let it become this bad. It did not start off. If your stick failed, just tell your doc to give you some Viagra. And if your stick is up for more than 4 hours, go see a doctor. My eyes are good. My ears are what sometimes don't get in gear. I popped in at the perfect time. It's because other people are starting to notice how blind I. And you know what? It's real because like I respect other people enough to wear these when I drive. If you saw me on the road, you wouldn't even respect. You wouldn't respect. You wouldn't even see me. You'd be like, "Who is that guy in Sewing's car?" See, this is Urkel, and this is Stefan Urkel.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
See,
from a
I
certain.
don't think that there's that big a difference because you're still you. You still have your whole, your demeanor. You're still you. Just you can see the comments.
All right, where's my and you guys don't like my bumblebee? These have dust on them. I love these things. You guys don't like these, huh?
Well, there's nothing wrong with those if you're driving out in the sunshine.
See, but I can still see you and do my Ray Charles impression at the same time.
See, we can't see you though.
I had other ones in here too. They're in here somewhere. They were the newer ones. Someone I knew got surgery and was like, "Here's some new ones. Your old ones are trash. Here's some new ones." Oh, that's funny. It's so weird when I can actually see.
What a concept. All right, chat, go to it. Give him some stuff to read.
No, it's all vanity. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. Shout out to Corey Hart. One hit wonders forever. I would see that if Jeopardy had a one hit wonder category, I would smash that category. I know all the one hit wonders from the 80s, actually from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
They probably have had a. We should look that up.
If you think you look dorky, just get new frames.
See, exactly.
I need to get new frames. I need to. These are trash because I wear these at work, and so they have paint on them. Look, I super glued that side. You can see how blind. Now you guys can see me. I super glued that side.
Now you need to grab a cloth and clean those off.
Now they're trash because I wore.
Well, no, you had a bunch of crud around the side of the lenses.
No, that's what it is. That's because it popped out a while ago and I was at work and I was like, man, you can't fail. And so I super glued it back in.
Oh, okay.
These are these were my backups because I broke my other pair. Here's another problem with glasses and I. Let me see if they're in here.
Goodness. Kilroy, I don't think I've thought of that song since the 80s.
Says the person who introduced weird gnome rock, and I'm still not over it. Still bringing it up. I'm still bringing it up. Every time they pop up, I'm like, why gnomes? Why?
Well, you got to keep your finger on the pulse of the new music, even if it's gnomes.
I'm weird, and they're too weird for me. These were my other ones that I used to wear every day. Oh gosh, I can see even better. These were my everyday wearing ones.
All right, we'll leave those on.
They don't have any sides.
Oh, they're just, what happened to the sides?
I'm hardcore.
Oh, goodness. You're not supposed to step on your glasses.
It's because I take them off constantly, and so I'm naturally goofy. I am 5'9" with size 13 and a half shoe. I'm a hobbit. I'm a real life hobbit.
This is true, Kilroy. He should at least make his glasses safety glasses if he's going to be wearing them at work without goggles.
I do like these better than the other ones, and they just don't have size.
Well, you should go to the store and get some new ones like those. They have these places you go and it's crazy. The wall is just like full of all these glasses that you can try on. Different shapes, different colors.
Do you know what's funny? They've been calling me too.
Ah,
Leave them on, doofus. Get bifocals. I just had that conversation with somebody the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I have to lean
Who
in.
could that be?
I will. You know what? Do you know what this is? This is kind of like when I lost my fro. I didn't accept it, and I let my fro slowly became a mohawk because I just started getting balder and balder, and then my mohawk just faded. And this also happened when I turned gray. I was like, I'm not gray. I'm gray right now on both sides. I look like Ra's al Ghul from Batman. I'm so gray. I just had to accept it. So eventually, I'll just start wearing my glasses again. Yeah, they do make safety prescription glasses with the side shields and everything. Not great on a date, but
I have them.
I need the whole gamut, though. I need the safety shields, the sunglasses, and the glasses. Because I rock sunglasses all the time.
Well, sometimes they have like a special. Buy 2, get 1 pair free.
9 out of 10 obstetricians might
See?
approve of the stream if you get new ones. No, I need to go. And the place where I got my glasses are by my house. So whenever I walk by, it's by a grocery store. So whenever I walk by, the people in the office are looking at me like, and they went as far as literally telling me, like, they recently called me. They're like, your prescription is still on file. Why don't you come down? I seen you're driving. You're a bit swervy. Why don't you come on down? It's the problem when you live in the same neighborhood they work in the same neighborhood as they live in. So we all kind of weirdly know each other.
Just do it. Just go there, get some glasses you're happy with, that you feel all confident and
I like
snappy in.
these. These are solid black frame. These
All
are
right.
And everyone who talks trash, you know what? These, at least, gosh, I got these glasses like 13 years ago.
No wonder you can't see with them and you see better with the other ones.
Long story, you're confusing the story with fact again.
Okay, excuse me. As you were saying,
these are U.S. Army military standard glasses. So if you have a problem with my glasses, you have a problem with the U.S. Army.
Nobody has a problem with your glasses except you.
No, I have a problem wearing them. There's a difference. I like the frames. I like the hard black frames. It's very 1950s. Like if I had a suit on, it reminds me of like the Malcolm X era, the James Baldwin era where everybody wore a suit and smelled nice.
Okay. You could rock that look.
I love the hard black frames, but it's just I stopped wearing my glasses. It's vanity. It's all. I'm not saying there is any like real excuse behind it. It's just me. This all just dolphin noises at this point. You have a problem with your glasses? You have a problem with the army? Absolutely. You don't have a problem with your glasses. You have a problem with the army. I love saying that. I love throwing that fact out to people that give me a hard. Oh, my so-called life, the U.S. military phone, and they want their old ass glasses right now. There's some kid that's fresh out of boot that's like, those are hideous glasses. I love these things. I love these things.
Well, then wear them.
Oh, good times. Good times. I guess this is the last stage of acceptance.
Oh, okay. You've gone through the other 4 stages of eyeball grief.
Yeah, denial, avoidance. William, they make exciting frames here in the civilian world. You don't have to settle for the birth control glasses.
But from the stories he tells, that doesn't seem to stop the ladies.
Oh no, I've never had a problem in my life getting somebody, keeping somebody. That's a whole other subject. Give me a burlap sack. I'll make you a burlap hoodie. 10 seconds. I ruthlessly have the Alf theme song stuck in my head because I'm tuned out and I've been watching Alf all the time. And Desmond's Barbershop too. Shout out to Peckham, UK. Good times. So, before we part this, I have a question for you. What's the difference between just say you're like a fisherman, you catch and release? Stolen. I like that. What's the difference between a frock and a smock?
Well, a frock is a dress. A smock usually doesn't have a back to it, or it's like really, I mean, it can, but it's usually like loose and something that you wear over top of your other garment.
But what if it has buttons on it? Would it not constitute as a dress? And keep in mind, it is 2024. So if my mannequin wants to wear a dress.
Well, see, that has like really big armholes and stuff. So that looks like it's something that's supposed to go over top of something else. In which case it would be a smock.
Where I live, a lot of people walk around with these on. We call them dueñas. It's the older ladies pushing the caretas, walking around LA, minding their own business.
Okay. What's your point?
I really don't have one. I'm just trying to point out the fact that that's not a dress. And if it is, and if you consider it a dress, I respect your life choices.
I mean, somebody could wear it as a dress. They could put a little tank top on.
There's some decency laws. That's total side boob. A lot of side boob on.
Well, you put a little tank top on.
I know. I'm being devil's advocate right now. People trashed my smock, and I'm dying on that hill. Like I said, with a sewing machine in one hand and a smock in the other.
It could be a cute little summer mini dress.
That's why I called my video Between a Frock and a Hard Place.
Throw on some little sandals.
Are we gonna have to have that talk again?
Which talk?
What? I'll tell you off.
Okay. See, I'm short. I could probably wear that as a dress.
Okay, see, that's a whole other talk. It's just something to point and laugh at. I absolutely, it makes me laugh. I'm gonna cover that thing in patches because, there's a ton of patches that I ordered, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I do this? I have a ton of patches. A frock is worn by the clergy too. Smocks are by artists. Thank you. I had a boss. Like, part of my job is going out because I work for a nonprofit. Sometimes I have to put a suit on and beg for money. And so I had a boss who would wear an overcoat, like he would show up with a full suit on, but we work in a shop and he had this white overcoat. And that meant I'm not working today and don't touch me. Don't come near me with your greasy hands. But he had several white smocks he would wear,
Okay.
so he wouldn't. Plus he smoked. What doesn't matter. So a smock is like chaps for women.
Well, I would say that a smock is like chaps for artwork or cooking or something, whereas chaps are like a smock for riding horses.
Well, still do remember Custer? Oh, yellow hair. I have that movie. They die with their boots on in this house. I grew up with a hillbilly, so yellow hair will not be forgotten in this house. Every time somebody it says, "Remember the Alamo," I always say, "Does the name Custard mean anything to you?" Good times. So I'm gonna put. Do you know what's so funny? I bought this hat because I liked it because it was red. I did not know that YMCMB meant Young Money, Cash Money Billionaires. So my
Oh,
mannequin will now be rocking the Young Money. I bought glasses that were so dark I can't wear them. Where'd my Cholo glasses go? I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see where they were. Oh, that's funny. Oh, there they are. These are so dark. Do you see how dark they are?
goodness.
They're good when it's really bright, but I can't wear them all the time. So I'm gonna toughen up that frock a little bit, add some patches to it. Ray Charles approved. This got a lot more laughs than the corset I bought when that guy showed me a giant bag of
That bag of accessories.
cake beaters. And you know what's really funny? Every time I see that man, I give him the side eye, like, "You sick." Just give him a look, and he just puts his head down, like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't know you. I still don't know you. I'm sorry." I just look at him like, "To shame, sir. To shame, sicko." I've seen him. I've seen him like in the past 2 weeks. We caught eyes, and he literally put his head to the ground. Offer somebody something crazy, and he knows it. He probably knows I told everybody I know about him too, and people on the internet know now that there's some weirdo at the San Fernando Valley swap meet
that sells accessories. Trying to pull up the chat. I had my phone charging.
Literally the scariest type though, because they're not like bagged. They're all just
no.
And like I said, I love the junk vendors. So I go to all the people who have like the most random stuff, I'm addicted to the junk vendors.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the chat and it's making the video make noise.
No, it's okay.
I had my phone charging, but I'm missing stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of amusement going on that I'm just not seeing.
There was somebody I used to stream with that had OBS, and if you weren't on your phone, you could not see the chat. You could not see the chat at all.
OBS?
It's a system that people use so they could have like fancy backgrounds and people could be in different positions. You just love buying crap. This is very true. But it's the chase. It's not just buying junk. I love getting in the car, eating McMuffins, being in traffic, haggling with vendors. I love the drive. There's a certain freeway that like I use to cut between certain freeways. It is so weirdly peaceful at 7:30 in the morning because no one's on it. and you're above the city kind of, so you're driving and it's just you see the entire valley. I love the chase. I love there's this young lady at the Goodwill. Oh, bless her heart. She looked at me and she's like, "So, what do you do? Who are you?" And I looked at her and I said, "I'm 40." She said, "Sir, thank you so much. Your total is 1975. You have a good day." I love that. That makes my day. Every time someone like gets a crush, and I'm like, I'm about to tell them I'm 25 years older than they are. That recently happened. And I'm like, the other people didn't warn you. I only look. I'm not young.
That backfired on me once. I told the guy, I'm like, I said something like, I'm 48. He didn't care. He's like, I'm 34. And I'm like, oh.
Tell them the truth. I care. Hit the bricks. I care. Ow.
Be gone, youngin'.
I've cut way back on my driving. I absolutely love driving as well, Alibaba. I think that's what it is. Like, you know what the funny thing is? When I'm doing the soccer dad thing with my kid, I reach this point of like, on Friday, I'm ready to explode. I'm done with driving. But when I wake up my eyes open on Saturday and I'm like, let's get in the car. Let's go have an adventure. A lot of what I do, like even that's why this last weekend got me so juiced because it reminded me of when I would go to Ventura. I'm telling you, I've driven to Santa Barbara for a sewing machine, and Waternative knows where I live. That's far. That's far from my house. I don't care if it's going up the coast. That's far. That's a whole day trip. And I remember driving home and being like, I wonder how much gas I just wasted to buy a $32 sewing machine. But I drove all the way to Santa Barbara for a $32 sewing machine.
I remember when Joy posted that link to the place that it was an auction site, but the machines were all in like the Santa Barbara area. And I saw one and I'm like, oh, I really want that. And then I thought about the drive and I'm like, ugh. And I thought about the machine. I said, ooh, it was a whole debate.
I've been there. I've been there. But again, it's like it's part of the fun. When I used to drive to Vegas, I would always stop in Bagger and get a gyro, or I would get something that was just so like ridiculously greasy, or all the way to Vegas, out in the middle of the desert, there's Greasy Spoon diners. All the way to Vegas, just some of the best foods you've ever had. I have to find this one place. There's this really famous 1950s diner that's out in the middle of nowhere. It's like right off the highway, but it's literally out in the middle of nowhere. You walk in, it's just Elvis and Sammy Davis Jr. and it's like everything you could possibly think of that's 1950s, 60s, and 70s. And it's this weird hidden gem. And they have good food. Great food.
And you get a nice new drive that you haven't had in a while.
I know several that go on 12-hour one-way trips just for sewing machines. I keep saying that so I don't feel bad next time I do that.
There are some. If I found that 33 that makes the stars, I would absolutely drive 12 hours to go and grab it.
Cross-country trips to pick up machines from people, saving them for him to come by in this summer. I'm down for something like that. I am down. My flex makes me want to cry. I think I might have to send it back in to get the frame checked again. It's making a weird click, but I'm itching for a long trip.
I saw a video. What is now? I can't remember the. I can't remember the name of the car. Elodie, the Elan, the something E something. But it's a new electric car. It's not out in production yet, but you can reserve one. And it's electric. Well, it's gas, but it's augmented with electric, and then it has solar panels, and it's so aerodynamic that it ends up getting like like 80 miles to the gallon or something like that. So something like that would make a long trip much more economical. And it looked like it was fun to drive.
Do you know the name of it? Because eventually I want to get punked to have like, do you know everyone in the state of California by 2030, whatever, is going to have a electric vehicle.
Well, and it was also surprisingly affordable, given new car prices these days. It was like $30,000, I think. I will find the video and put a link for people if you want to watch it in the chat.
30,000 is giving away for a new car if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Just turn on the radio and ignore that and click until it develops into something you can easily see. And that's usually my policy. When I saw that comment, I'm like, wow, Gilroy really knows me. But I have low tolerance. The older I get, I get annoyed. I just got my car fixed. Like, my shocks were like, I was about to be driving on the ground. So I think it's something in that realm.
Ooh.
I'm just annoyed because cars cost money, and I refuse to get rid of my cars, so they cost even more money. I think the first step of any problem is I need to get rid of my TARDIS blue truck. It's been sitting in front of my house since the beginning of the plague. I bought a dud.
Yeah. Oh, I was so wrong. It's not something. It's called an Aptera.
You know what I really want, and I constantly talk trash about it. And if you see me on one, I've officially lost my mind. But I kind of want a BMW motorcycle.
Well, yeah, didn't you say you wanted that one, and then you also wanted the Harley electric?
Yeah, but then I won't be able to hang around my friends.
They'll see it and they'll get jealous, and then you'll convert everybody to the Harley electric. I'm sure of it.
No, there's like, I won't be able to hang out with my friends if I have Harley electric. I'll go north. I'll go putt around where people don't know me. There's rules to bikes. If they can't hear you, you're not a biker. You're just, you're not riding it. You're sitting on it. But I really do want an electric motorcycle. I really, really do.
The channel I just linked is Aging Wheels, and he does reviews of all kinds of like wacky cars from back in the day. And so he said in this video that I put that he was really interested in the Aptera. So he talks about solar panels and electric vehicles. And
I'm also thinking about, I really want to get, before they're illegal, I keep on seeing videos of these people who buy these $2,000 cars from Japan. I really want to buy one because so many people in Texas bought them. Texas was like, oh no. So they're illegal in Texas now. But they're not illegal here.
I mean, at least that's less of an investment than that big blue thing you've got in front of your house.
I'm so mad at that car. Every time I look at it, I'm like, why are you still here? Why? And the top of it's just a mess. It's sun beaten. It's getting sun damage from sitting there for 4 years.
Yeah, I think you just need to sell it for what you can get and take the loss. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna tow it down the street. There's laws against people like me because I would just tow it down the street and set it on fire and walk away. I'm so mad at that car.
You might as well get some money out of it.
But because I'm crazy, I don't get the value of what I want. I want what I paid for it, and it's a dud.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get what you paid, but at least you can get a few $1,000s, and
I don't even think I can get
an Aptera.
It's probably worth more in scrap. Wow, it's because that truck is coveted, but it needs a lot of work.
Well, that's okay. I mean, as long as you're not deceiving somebody.
And that's another thing. I haven't sold it because I'm honest to people, because people have come up to me and been like, here, I'll give you what you want. And I'm like, okay, but let me tell you what's wrong with it. And they're like, okay, I'm going to give you a third of what I just offered you. Because I'm honest. If I was a liar, that thing would have been gone 2 years ago.
Well, run an ad and be, you don't have to like talk it down, but you could be upfront. needs, lovely car, blah blah blah. Just polished it with my 10-inch polisher. Needs a new
Complete lemon.
transmission.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the fluffy stuff up front. By the way, it needs a complete new transition, has an oil leak, and has been sitting there. Check to make sure there's no possums or raccoons living in it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Alibaba suggests that you sell it by the part.
There's a place that's in the valley. It's called You Pick 'em Parts. It's 3 acres of cars on stilts, and you pay a flat fee, and you walk in, and then they search your tools, and then you walk in, and anything you take off, you put on this conveyor belt, and they charge you for it. I wonder if they would buy my car. See, but again, they would give me dollars to donuts. Like I would get like a couple $100. There's no way I'm letting. We'll see how. Ask me in a month. Like I'm so mad at that car. I want to get rid of it.
Well,
I
you
just
could
want them to
part
start
it
making
out
the
and
original.
sell it yourself.
Kilroy wants the
Sorry.
bus. I want a bus. They have cars, trucks, even RVs. The truck is super good for parts. Sell it by the part. I agree. I bet they don't have the vintage truck you have. See, my 88's different because that thing's a monster truck in the engine. So that is right in front of my house for a reason, because it's on the camera. So no one touches my car. But I still drive that. The truck is a beast. My darkest blue Ford F-150 was a complete lemon. That's the definition. And I bought it because it was TARDIS blue. Hey, but I drove it to Vegas one time.
I mean, it is a pain to sell it by parts, but what are his options? Sell it as a thing and just get it out of your life?
And I sent did I tell you on or off stream? Did I tell you about the Karen email? I think I did. I sent the state of California because first they're so disorganized. I sent them a letter for the pink 2 years ago, an email for the pink. They never sent it to me. I sent them money for registration I never got. And I sent them a Karen email like, first off, you ripped me off. You haven't sent me what I wanted. You're incompetent. I got an email within 3 hours. But they're incompetent because it was just like, oh, we're incompetent. We're sorry. And that was it. My old S10, I could have got $3,000 just for the drive shaft. I paid. Wow. My dad had a S10. I love those things. For the whole truck. I need to get rid of that truck. It's time. It's time.
I think so too.
And I had plans on like towing it to the ranch and doing all these things, but like I haven't done it. So I live by like if you haven't done it by this certain time, you're probably never gonna do it, you know. And plus, because the state of California is nothing but land of lawyers, they will not tow, like AAA will not tow my truck because it has what's it called? Old tags. So I have to call an independent tow truck company.
They won't tow it on a flatbed?
Do you know how I know this? Ask Karen. Ask the real life Mechazord. I am the final boss, Karen. When you defeat all the Karens, you're like, wow. Then I'm like, it's like an old samurai movie. At the end, there's a reveal like, I am the original Karen. Shout out to all the old samurai movies. I love all those old school movies. But no, it's a mess. It's a mess. So my truck is the definition of a lemon. And like all my other vehicles are all registered. I have many vehicles registered in my name. It's a mess. Pull the battery out and let the neighborhood kids fuck with it. You know what's so funny? The battery is sitting on the other side in a storage over here in a cool place. I pulled that battery a while ago because so many people offer to buy it. I feel like someone's going to try to steal it. But if they tried to steal it, I would hear it because they would know. They would open the door and be like, man, this door hasn't been opened in 3 years. It's a mess.
Just sell the catalytic converter. You can get your money back that way.
I'm not that hard out or on drugs. I don't need to be selling catalytic converters. I don't even know what they look like. I'm kidding. I know exactly what they look like.
Someone
All
stole
right.
mine.
What's that?
Someone stole mine while I was on vacation. I got back. I went to go to a book signing, as nerds do, and my truck sounded like a lawnmower and went just as fast. I had to call my mom and like, pick me up, take me to this book signing.
Do you know, like, ever since you told me that story, it scared the holy bejesus out of me. Because it's real. No, like that stuff's real. It happens all the time around in my town. All types of people have said the same story. And I'm like, oh, I hope that never happens to me. Oh. That's why when my truck was acting up I'm sorry, the Flex, I was like, oh, could someone take my Cadillac converter? But there's not one on there. I got rid of my poor S10 just before everything started building them up. There's certain cars I do miss. Like, I had a 1983 Ford Ranger. That was the definition of a two-seater truck. I miss that thing. Was a mini lawnmower. I drove that thing to Arizona a bunch, give him some Harbor Freight tools and let him tinker with it. I told you about my neighbor. I had a neighbor behind me that got a divorce, and there was much debate. I think he was on drugs, but he dug a 10. Well, this was before the car. He brought a 1990 something Honda Civic in the backyard and took it apart. I mean, bolt by bolt. Me and my pops would sit on opposite ends of the fence with damn near with popcorn. Like, what the hell is he doing? Like, literally, what the hell is he doing? But he took it apart. And after he took the car apart, he had a 10-foot burn pit in the backyard. He burnt every piece of furniture in that house. I woke up because he was doing it for a while, and I was like, dude, how come no one's called the cops or the fire department on this? One day I woke up and the fire department was and he was like, this is my house. I can do whatever you want. They're like, dude, you literally have a 10-foot fire pit back here. So when you get a divorce, don't bring a Honda Accord. He was crazy. He lost his brain. He lost his brains. Cat's getting stolen all over. That's not drugs. Divorce can make somebody snap. He lost it for real. And he was like one of those people who was, you'd see him and he was just a stand-up citizen. He had that look. He looked like one of those old, he looked like the guy from Love Connection. He looked like Chuck Woolery.
Oh goodness.
He just had with the red hair and everything. He had that look. He was a complete psycho. He lost it.
Oh dear.
And I know all of his business because he married someone I knew my whole life. So like I know all his business. I bet while he was taking the car apart, he was simmering and then he exploded and burned the furniture. That was actually a glorious day because it's a long story, but he was half. He married one of my neighbor's daughters. And so my neighbor called me and he was like, has he burnt the house down yet? And I was like, what? He's like, that's half of my house.
Oh
no. Because the father basically had paid for the house, and he's like, he's destroying my house. But yeah, he lost it. That so if you think you're having a bad day, you're not taking Honda Accords in the backyard and burning your entire because they had 4 or 5 kids. She got full custody and she moved away, and like it was just him by himself. But look like the guy from Falling Down. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I recently watched a video where somebody from a generation who wasn't born when the video came out said that Michael Douglas was the bad guy in Falling Down, and he wasn't, even though he kind of was. But even though you're having a bad day, you shouldn't hurt people. That is a movie one day we should tear apart. Because he is like the anti-hero. No?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, it's like just because you're having a rough time does not mean you get to go shooting people.
Yeah, but that's 1990s standards. I have to see if Harvey Keitel was in that movie. Who was? Because there's a very famous scene where I love how like there's a bunch of movies and they're standing on a pier and I'm like, that's either Manhattan Beach or Santa Monica. Like there's only two piers that they go to, and I think they're at the one in Manhattan Beach because it's just big. I have to check that out now. I have to see. I have that disc. I'm gonna go pop it in. We have gone way longer than I thought we would this evening. You know, I really enjoy these. Eventually I'm gonna burn out. I'll be back on Wednesday. Eventually I'm gonna burn out and you're gonna see me on hard copy. Everybody tell Liza he was a nice guy, he loved what he did. Is hard copy still around or am I old?
Oh, I don't even know.
Inside Edition is still around.
Okay.
And the one in Australia is so lit. If you're bored, you should watch it. They are just as much fun in Australia as we are in America. Like, and because it's all news stories all through the pandemic, I sat there and watched every Australian Inside Edition I can get my hands on. I want it or else at a Happy Burger. I want it. Damn right. I read somewhere that people who made Falling Down made it into a Rorschach. Is that Rorschach test?
Rorschach test.
Rorschach.
You know,
I
like
can't.
the ink blots.
I know exactly what you're saying. I don't have my glasses on.
Put your glasses on, William. You look
I
nice
think
in your glasses, William.
we got to get you a ventriloquist with no glasses on for that. I think it's crazy how the broken ones. Do you know what it was? Is that these were two like MC Hammer 1990 for me.
Well, I've got kind of retro glasses. People wore glasses like this in the 80s. I'm bringing them back. Was it the 80s or the 90s? The 70s? Whatever. Back in the day.
What you see, and it says more about you and less about the film. Okay, so eventually I'm going to snap one day and complain about... That is, it just, you know what really made me jump the other day? It was less about the movie and more that like somebody was analyzing it. And I guess everything in context and moderation, even moderation. It caught me off guard. It just caught me off guard because I was checking for the age of this person. And they're not much younger than my son. I mean, much older.
Mm.
So, you know, I guess everything in retrospect.
But, you know, I think that, excuse me, you know, if the person is that age, then they're the generation that's lived through, you know, those types of situations at their school and had all these drills and stuff. And they're like, wait a minute, just because you're upset with the world doesn't mean you get to come in and cause deadly mayhem.
So at what point are we going to start calling you professor of the you are professor of the humanities here in the House of Feeling. Because you're reminding us all where we came from and to sit down and to have an Activia and think about it. Activia.
I just like talking about stuff.
Somebody I watch started saying that a lot, and I'm like, that's annoying but true. They're like, if you're having a bad day, just have an Activia. And I'm like, oh man. Because even today, like I was running around and I didn't eat breakfast. And then I came back and I after I dropped off my son, I went to the donut shop. Do you know ham and cheese croissants in my town are now $5.75?
Well,
when I was a kid, they were $1.
Oh goodness!
From that same place. And
that's
you know
a big difference.
I'm sorry. Do you know what ruined me was living in the city of Los Angeles when I lived off of Hoover Street? LA is just a land of donut shops. Like LA, the heart of LA, million donut shops. Ham and cheesers are $1 and they're bigger.
I mean, that must be a loss leader. How can they afford to sell a full ham and cheese croissant sandwich for $1? Like,
And they still do, because I went to the old neighborhood I used to live in, and I went to the very donut shop, and there's still $1, and they're still the same size as the ones that I pay $5.75 for here.
I don't know. It seems like just the cost of the ingredients and then like the labor. I don't know. Well, still.
I think they do. They might do it the Walmart style, but where I live, they think they can charge us more because we're yuppies. And so I get the Disneyland tax because of where I live. And I do not live in Orange County, but I'm just saying, like, where I live, anything that's outrageously priced, we call Disneyland prices or amusement park prices. Because at an amusement park, you're going to pay $5 for a soda that you'd pay $1 for at the store, you know?
5. I'm surprised you're not paying 7.
Is it Bob Hope Airport in Burbank or John Wayne? I can't remember.
In Burbank, I think it's Bob Hope.
Oh, it's on John Wayne. It's on John Wayne Drive.
Oh.
Bob Hope Airport. I'm looking at you. Every time I go pick up my mom and I'm with my son, you guys cost me like $15 at your vending machines. Every time. It's ridiculously priced. And I tell my son, we'll drive past 100 liquor stores. You want to get something? No. I'll take you to 7-Eleven. We can go crazy at 7-Eleven. No. We get to the airport. He's like, do you have any ones?
That's when you say no. You gotta wait till we leave.
He knows I
Put your
obsessively.
size 13 down.
You know, that's the second time. Well, I said it once and you said it once today. I said, I'm putting my size 13 down. I actually said that today. The Bob Hope Airport on John Wayne Drive sounds like a line from a parody.
Sounds like something from LA Story or
That's
something.
Burbank, California. Kenny Rogers Drive has all the good food. There was a Chinese buffet that I went to that they kicked me out because I was there longer than an hour and a half. That was on Bob. All the bomb food is on Kenny Rogers Drive. Burbank, you know, all the names on the streets are named after famous people. I think it's people who paid money though, because if you ask the average Californian, they'll know who Bob Hope is, John Wayne. But if you ask somebody, sing me a Kenny Rogers song, they would not know that sometimes you got to hold them, sometimes you got to fold them.
But there was a whole resurgence the young people know about because it was going through the reaction channels for listening to Lady.
Oh, see, I don't know this because I'm old. I hate to say this. I'm not a fan of reaction channels, but with that being said, I watch people who react to certain shows that I watch and fashion shows.
But also, you know, maybe Kenny Rogers Lane or whatever it is, maybe that was named back when more people knew who he was.
Very true. You know, when I was like, every time I go to Hollywood Boulevard, I'm always shocked at who has a star. So you never know.
But yeah, I enjoy the reaction channels sometimes because it's kind of like watching with a friend, or you know how you introduce somebody to something and they're like, wow, this is amazing. So sometimes it's nice to like,
okay,
parasocial.
I hate to say this, but I like to do that in first person.
Well, true, but people aren't always available. It's 2024.
Not in this house, Waterday. In this house, it is 1997. Excuse me, who's the president? I am trapped in the past. I am the time traveler. There's this guy on YouTube. It's just a really funny parody. He calls himself the time traveler from 2005, and when I watch his videos, I'm like, dude, I am you, bro. Like we are one, dude. I feel that guy. I saw Ken Rancher's home when it was for sale. Huge mansion. His clothes closet was gigantic. I want something like that. It isn't really like they update the road names for new celebs. That would be too confusing. That is true because those people, their names don't last. That is true. That is very true. My track where I live, there's a very famous like lore and on this side of town because all of the names, all the streets have very specific names. And we're like, that's the developer's family. Every name in there, but they all have the same like surname. You know what I'm saying? So it'll say,
Okay.
huh. Every single street on in this track is named after the same family.
Oh dear.
But it's been like that, forever, In his house, Nixon is still under fire for Watergate. I rarely watched Fear Factor. I thought it was the dumbest show. But if you're bored, watch the Gordon G. Libby episode. He is tough as nails. It is mind-boggling. He was mentally 3 steps ahead of everybody. Well, he also did like how many years in prison? But like you should watch it. Fear Factor's dumb. Joe Rogan is dumb. I said it live on YouTube. I'm not a Joe Rogan fan, but it was a really good episode of Fear Factor. A really good episode. So yeah, Gordon G. Libby, Watergate still going in this house right now. All right, we've been going for a while now. We saw everybody showed up. It's been a great show. The skating rink will be closing in about 10 minutes. Would like to remind everybody that you will not get your shoes back if you do not return your skates. My so-called life skating ring would like to thank you. Joe Rogan got punched too many times. His brain is silly, buddy. I'm just not. He's always irked me in the wrong way. Always. And this is like from news radio days. I'm old.
I feel like I wonder if he's like was trying to be controversial and then started drinking his own Kool-Aid.
Okay, you hit something on the head. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, and I'm not saying that everybody is going to stay the same forever, but it's weird to me when people finally make it and they switch up. And he was the dopey kind of funny guy. And then he started doing push-ups and got in with the UFC guys and completely switched his whole thing. And now he's like that annoying dude bro that you don't want to know. I don't like any of the talk shows. I love Chisme. But like it's so weird. If you were to talk about somebody that was like in my neighborhood and it was super Chisme, I would be like, I don't want to know. None of that's my business. But if you're talking about Tom Cruise and like he spit on somebody, I would be there with popcorn, like, oh, what did he do? Well, it's the weirdest thing. And he did not spit on anybody. I am not saying that he did. People get sued on the internet nowadays. Disclaimer. Just an example. I really liked Regis and Kelly. Those were the days. See, but Regis was an entertainer. Regis knew Regis was a total entertainer. Those days are long gone. Is there anyone that you could think of right now that is a quadruple threat? Like Regis had albums. He would show up every day in Armani suit. He knew every New York Yankee, met every like giant. He was the king of Florida. I know way too much about Regis. I watched it because and also because I was home a lot as a kid because I was sick. I would always watch Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh, see, it's the nostalgia does it for you.
And I was obsessed with Letterman, and he would literally just walk on set. Like Letterman would be talking, and Regis would literally just walk on and sit down because they were friends.
Mm.
Regis
I
did radio for a stupid long time too.
I kind of like the Graham Norton way of doing a talk show where everyone's out there chatting with each other. It's much more lively than the stuff that's like such a straight interview. I mean, he obviously has a plan and asks like questions and stuff like that, but it's a little more interesting for me.
That was how
And,
they did shows back in the day until the newer format. Because
mm,
even what's his name? Carson would do that. Johnny
mm.
Carson. I watch Ed Sullivan, but he's on television right now. Like, I don't know if you live in the LA area, Channel 6 and Channel 8, if you have Spectrum, show awesome old school shows. Every Ed Sullivan they'll be like, oh, it's the Beatles episode. They show just amazing episodes. That's why I'm talking about the Turtles. California Dreaming. I literally watched it the other day on the Ed Sullivan show. So good time.
California Dreamin' is the Mamas and the Papas. Did the Turtles do a version of that
No,
also?
it's a mom. No, I have no idea what I'm talking about. That's why
Oh,
you're
okay.
here. You
Oh,
are you are Wikipedia.
oh no.
Correction. I stand corrected.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say
hold on.
something
Hold on.
incorrect now. Oh no.
I stand corrected.
The Turtles were happy together.
Oh, it's stuck in my head. Imagine you and me. So
I
happy
like that song.
together. Officially stuck. Uh, that is like that's the song where you're running through the field and you're about to hug. That is like the official I'm running through a field about to hug somebody song. Oh, good song. Greg Ferguson was my favorite late night host.
I like it when Craig Ferguson gets another Scottish person on there and their accents just get thicker and thicker.
I loved when anyone from the UK would come and he would be like, okay, look, we're about to talk about a bunch of stuff you Americans don't know. So happy together. I think we're gonna have to have a music stream. I don't know how like I need to find the legality. I think it's you can play like 30 seconds and you don't get taken down.
Well, you also have to be like reacting and making commentary and not just playing the song. Although some people are uptight and will still try to take you down. I think like um Jamel aka Jamal has like a little list. He's like, I cannot play this or this or this or this. But I think a way around that is like if you were to start a Patreon, because then it's a private thing and it's not on YouTube, and then you can have people come on there and you could talk about it, play the songs.
I feel bad making people pay for my piratey. My like I am literally like Weird Al UHF style. My thumbnails are like, something a junior high schooler would do. Come on.
Well, I understand, but for something like that, you need like a workaround. And at least with Patreon, you can charge like as little as $1, I think. So that's not something that for most people is going to break the bank, or it's at least something they can plan for and make arrangements for.
You know what it is I used to hang out with a lot of e-beggars and it emotionally scarred me. And so I have to I have this weird line where I think the internet should be free. I
Well,
like maybe I'm weird. I think the internet should be 100% free. It should be like Berkeley. In Berkeley, everything is emulating Wi-Fi. You can literally walk up with the old phone and it'll activate and start working,
well, that's the um Hank and John Green did Patreon, and they're like, we're only charging $1 because we're not trying to make money on this. We just want to use the features and have people have access and send out newsletters and stuff like that. So,
I feel bad asking for money. It's weird,
well,
but
but
I'll get over it.
you're not with something like that, you're not charging $10, $20, $30 a month. You just say, this is a place that can host it. Come over. We can enjoy some music.
I definitely want to get like Cash App and all that stuff though, because I see people making money off of it.
Also what you could do is any money that you get from it, you could donate to charity.
Actually, there's one that I actually would, because recently I opened an email and they were like, I'm really bad at it, Gilroy. I am terrible at self-promotion. I think that's like, that is probably my biggest YouTube flaw, is that I am terrible. But I'm getting better. Everybody don't forget to like and subscribe. You are right though. You are right. I talked about stepping it up this year. I'm thinking about adding all of that just to see what happens.
Mhm.
I'm slow. We're slowly growing here in the House of Sewing. I like, for as outgoing as I am, I have this weird line of being rude. Like, if you push me, I'm a tiger. You're gonna regret it. But most of the time, I mind my own business. I'm a nice guy. Like, I'm not here to, you know. I think it's the whole bugging people factor, because I grew up with like door-to-door salesmen, certain religions that shall remain nameless, Jehovah's Witnesses. They're in bed right now waiting to wake me up tomorrow morning. My whole point is, I'm really bad at cheap pops and self-promotion.
Hmm.
And I just need to get better at it. But like in the YouTube space, every time I go and like, because I'm all up in all kinds of stuff, and I've noticed on certain chats, I'll go in and all of a sudden I gain subscribers, because I don't realize, like, there was this one chat I go into, not many people are talking, but 2,000 something people are watching.
Mm.
Because this person is intimidating, so I don't know. Who knows? A year from now, I'll be laughing at this conversation.
Why was I so afraid?
So we have officially hit 3 hours. I would like to thank everybody for skating with us tonight at the My So-Called Life Skating Ring. It has been a great time. I'll be back at it on Wednesday by hook or crook. But seriously, to everybody who watches the streams after, and well, everyone who's still here, you guys are amazing. But there are quite a few people who watch my streams after. Thank you. I absolutely thank you. And you guys watch it to that very bitter end, because even YouTube is like, hey, those people in Latvia love you. So to all my Latvian viewers, I love you too. And to everybody else, I'll be back at it on Wednesday. I absolutely appreciate that you guys have spent time with me. Until next time, Polished and Assembled, my lovely co-host, do you have anything you'd like to shill?
No, I may have some show and tell later in the week. I pulled my sewing machine back out so that I wouldn't use that as an excuse to not sew something. So we'll see what happens.
Wednesday, be there, be square. I hope everybody's doing well. And if you're not, I'm here for you. So, like I always say, reinforce your themes, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.